I'm not giving you anything to use as a sound bite, Daryl. All right? Make up your own intro. Fancy Frankfurt report icon. Frankfurt! We got people waiting. Don't make me call you Frankfurt, like the sausage. Whoa! Where's your mic? Where's your mic? Where's my speakers?
Hey.
There we go. Look at the haircut on the guy. You look fantastic.
Oh, I thank you. Appreciate that.
You look like a young Tom Hanks.
Oh, for God's sakes.
Is that not good?
TK.
Is that not good? He's
Young
a famous
Tom
actor.
Hanks. Oh,
John Travolta. You look like a young John Travolta.
I do. I look like Forrest Gump, bro.
I never put two and two together. I'm not good at compliments.
That is horrendous. I'm going to change my shirt. I look like Forrest Gump. Where's my hat?
John Travolta's good, you know? Patrick Swayze.
John Travolta. This is what you get when you mix John Travolta and Tom Hanks.
Daryl Frankfurt.
Hello, everybody.
Okay, well, quickly before we bring on our amazing guest. A lot of panic in the market. Panic from buyers. Am I going to overpay? Is the market going down? What should I do? Right? A lot of panic from sellers.
But the buyers are like, this is not getting more affordable. What's going on here? The prices are going down and it's getting more expensive for me.
Yep. But the sellers know I'm not in the best position here and that I need to be able to move on. The agents are panicking, Daryl.
Agents are panicking.
The agents are panicking.
What are you worried about, TK?
Well, you know, different things that I panic about would be like, you know, taking on a client who is not necessarily prepared to do what it takes in this market on either side, right? Because some people, you know,
from
they
a
make
leverage standpoint or an affordability standpoint.
In any case, you know, some people are just going to make it really hard on themselves, right? And then they blame us. When everything goes really well, they are geniuses. And when things go horribly wrong, their realtor's an idiot, right? And there's just sometimes clients who just don't get what needs to be done. And, you know, we advise and we suggest and we demonstrate, but, you know, there's plenty of people who aren't in the position to listen. And we even forecast. We even have to outline exactly how things are going to go from here and why this will now be something that they are going to regret in the future. I'm going to go see a guy today who's on the market in March.
On the market in March?
On the market in March, and he did not get good advice on how to sell his home.
Oh, he's been on the market since
He was
March.
on the market in March and April. Quite a while, maybe a total of 2 months, March and April, maybe the whole month, something like that. Regardless, now I'm going to see him today to deliver the news.
What's the news? What vicinity?
The news is that the price that he felt was too low back in March is now a fantasy.
Is now way too high.
It's a fantasy. It's not even close to.
Where
possible.
are we in the
Durham
in the GTA? Durham.
Durham. Yeah.
Durham.
Yeah.
Durham. We've been talking a lot about Durham, and that makes sense, right? Because we talk a lot about Durham being crazy on the way up, right?
Yeah, like Durham's stabilizing. There's actually a lot of multiple offers. There's things going on, but this particular individual, the challenge is, I'm sure he got an offer or had some idea on what the place was worth back then.
Bad advice.
And because he did not get the correct advice, he then decided not to sell at that point.
This episode is brought to you by Landlord.
This landlord software is a game changer. You upload your properties, right? You'll upload all the information, income, expenses, timelines, mortgage details, everything that you need to have so that you keep track of everything in your portfolio. And as you go through real-time adjustments in, rent increases and water bills and tax bills and everything else, they're going to actually give you recommendations on how to make your portfolio more efficient. And it just breaks everything down for me in a way that I've never seen before. Like Excel spreadsheets just don't cut it. I don't think there's a better program or app out there for investors, and it's free.
Please click the link below for your free trial offer.
We're here with the boys at the Canadian Real Estate Show. If you guys like what you're seeing and it's providing you value, hit that subscribe button, press that like button, leave us a comment below. Let's go.
Ring the damn bell.
Ring that damn bell.
Ring it.
Can I tell you, back in 2006, when I built my first house, the market was bananas. I think the house was for sale in 2007, and I got an offer and I didn't like it. And my realtor said, Darryl, the first offer is the best offer. You may never get another offer. And I was like young and stupid, and I listened to this guy because it was literally my first project. I had no idea. I was so in over my head, and he used it to his advantage, got a quick sale. And I was like, I've spent the last, how long has it been since then? 17 years going like, what the fuck did I listen to that guy for?
Can I do a little just quick story because I want to bring in our guests?
Yeah.
We got an offer 3 days ago on a property. That was the best offer. And my guy said no. And we are now begging for that offer to come back. And it did come back.
This is a down market though. When my realtor did it, it was crazy booming.
It did come back now with conditions. Right?
Sure.
3 days.
It is tough out there. Listen, depending on the scenario, it's tough. Try dealing with land right now. It's a fucking nightmare out there.
Yeah.
At least for me.
So far, so good for me. All right, let's bring in our guests. We got lots of good stories here because we have somebody who is fearlessly navigating this market.
It's crazy, and it's been
any
exactly
concern
a year
for the media and the news and what's being said out there. And we're going to hear his story today. We're bringing back on Zach Walpole.
1 year ago today, he set out on a mission, and we are here to see how that mission is going. He is. Oh, you look exactly the same.
Yeah, he keeps in shape.
Gentlemen, how are you today?
Zach, all right, my man.
Hello.
What is
Are
happening?
you in a hotel room?
I'm in a hotel room, the lovely Comfort Inn in Cornwall. Yes, I am.
Cornwall
That's how you
already,
do
right
it,
off
Darryl.
the bat. Right off the bat.
I'm grinding out here, guys. Grinding.
Absolutely, you are.
Look at you. So I guess you're doing some business in Cornwall.
I am. I'm finding the more that I'm here, the more great things are happening. So why not try and be here as much as I can? You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I absolutely know what you
Get in front of those people. They're chasing down at the gas stations. Say, hey, you selling your property?
Hey, right? Zach. Look, it's Zach. Zach knows everything about the neighborhood.
That's what it is right now. That's what it is.
We're gonna catch up, people, because we've also been expanding our business, Zach, and we have more subscribers and viewers than we did a year ago. So some people haven't seen the episode from a year ago.
Yeah.
So quick recap: Zach is there you go. Darryl's pointing to the link. Click on it. Zach is a real estate investor who started real estate investment only in the during the pandemic world.
Yeah.
And mid-pandemic world, thank you. Got educated, researched, figured out what type of strategy he wanted to use, has implemented that strategy. He had a couple properties, couple doors when we talked to him about a year ago. Now he's expanded, and we're getting the update from Zach, and he's going to tell us exactly what's going on.
Thank you very much for that. I appreciate that.
So Cornwall, Ontario. First of all, tell us about Cornwall, Ontario. What have you learned about it, and why are you more interested in it? Give us the lowdown.
Cornwall is it's a great little town. I'm not gonna lie, guys. It's pretty nice down here. You're right on the river. Access to, you got the US access on the border there. You have Montreal an hour away, you have Ottawa an hour away. I think it's a little gem, and it's always kind of had this stigma to it. Obviously, they used to call it a name. I don't know if you guys know, the Armpit of Ontario is what it used to be called.
That's helpful.
But things are changing, guys. Things are changing out here, right? And I'm noticing a lot of people moving into Cornwall, but not too many moving out, because if you live in Cornwall, where are you going, right? So,
but where are they going when the people move in and buy their houses? Or you come in and buy their houses?
good question. I mean, I guess they're just shifting around. But again, if you're in Cornwall, like there's not much else, as far as value-wise.
There's no lower you can go. Is that what you're trying to say, Zach?
And the armpit of Canada? I mean, what's lower than that? But,
well, okay. That's the old nickname. So I think
that's the old nickname. That doesn't exist.
Yeah,
what's the new nickname?
Yeah. Opportunity.
Hidden gem? I don't know.
Hidden gem. Yeah. Cornwall. The hidden gem.
Kind of like how you labeled the last episode was like the secret town in Cornwall with that emoji, that cover shot on, right?
Yeah, don't ruin his game over here, Darryl. That's those thumbnails of yours always causing problems. Tell us about Cornwall. Where are people working in Cornwall?
Where is Cornwall?
In 1 year, you haven't even looked at the map, eh? Just to see
where it is. He knows.
I don't. Where's Cornwall? I'm guessing it's east based on the Ottawa, Montreal comment earlier.
The farthest east you can get, the farthest major, minor, small city you can get in Ontario. So that's where it is.
Really?
I think a lot of companies are noticing like the accessibility. So they're bringing some transport truck companies here. They have Walmart, the Walmart distribution center, which is like a, $40 million facility that services all the hubs.
This is a new facility?
Yeah, it just opened last year. Yeah. And
have they finished their hiring?
Dude, if people need jobs, there's literally so many jobs available here, man. It's crazy. And the cost of living is so much cheaper, right? So
we need a townhouse site in Cornwall, TK.
I know, right?
Good. So, so you got expansion on jobs, right? Which is, as a real estate investor, that's something you're looking in. You want to see job growth. You want to see the employment being stable. You want to see population growth.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So these
are the average price of a single family house in Cornwall.
Honestly, you can get some for like 200, 250. That needs a little bit of work. Single family bungalow.
What?
Yeah.
But
200,000.
Let's say a nice renovated house that's like, you can spend 500K in Cornwall and get a beautiful house.
Sure.
That's,
Yeah, for sure.
To live in.
200's on the low
single
end.
family.
Yeah, 200's on the low end.
Yeah. What do you get for 200? Like a tear down?
No, like maybe a 80-year-old bungalow, something like that.
Yeah. But you can go and get something that's been built, more recently, let's say like a, 30 or 40-year-old house for 500K.
For sure.
And it'd be like a decent house that you would have in a subdivision here in, Richmond Hill or Whitby or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
And so what kind of rent can you get for that house?
So for my units, they're renovated, they're very nice, my units. So, I'm getting $1,600-$1,700 for a 2-bedroom plus utilities. You can get 18,000 for a 3-bedroom. Yeah. So when you're looking at your value and your cash on cash return on investment, it's great. It's phenomenal, actually. Right. So,
and then are you separating the basement in that arrangement and renting that as a separate space, or is that all included in that 1,900 or?
Well, in that lower tier price, like the basements are pretty much crawl spaces. So you're not, in those like really old homes, those 80-year-old homes, they're mostly all crawl spaces. So the basement could be finished, but it's not like livable. So storage, yes. Right. But 18, I'm seeing some places, some newer places, semis, like 4 bedrooms for $2,500. So the market's here. Right. But
yeah, I heard there's a lot of applications when people put up a rental, like you have like a real shortage in rentals, like we're seeing everywhere else.
Exactly. Yeah. It's the same thing. So they're slowly building more newer houses and affordable housing and all these things. There's a lot of land out here. Right. So I think with like the boom of how everything happened during COVID and everything, now they're just trying to catch up a little bit. Right. So,
Cornwall's growing. Yeah. We know that prices, like prices have come up a lot in Cornwall over the last couple of years.
Yep.
What are they doing right now?
They're coming back down a little bit. So I'm seeing, there's a lot of properties that are on the market right now. And, 6 months ago, that wasn't the case. There was maybe a couple handful of properties, right? But now, everyone's kind of scared. Investors are scared. People are scared because of the interest rates. So things are sitting right now, right? But for me, when I work out my numbers and I see the value, like there's still a ton of deals out there to be had, right? For my strategy, which is the BRRRR strategy, right? So buy and holds. So yeah, it's definitely slowed down a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. Just
Why is Zach Walpole not as afraid as the other investors out there? What is it that Zach's doing that is preventing him from being frozen in fear?
Well, I've educated myself a hell of a lot, right? And just it comes to the numbers, man. If your numbers work and you're cash flowing and it all makes sense, then why not, right? Like I try and hit the 1% rule, which is the you're getting your rent amount per month, 1% of the purchase price. And if you can hit that, which you can, then it's pretty much in my books.
Reno when you buy it?
After reno.
After reno. Okay.
After. Yeah.
The purchase price or total cost?
So
1% of purchase price. So you add 150 grand and that
total
doesn't
cost,
count?
everything. After everything's
Total
done. After everything's done.
Yeah. So like the multi-units, if you're buying it for 300,000 and you can get $3,000 in rent, you're cash flowing $500 net easily, right?
Yeah.
With your down
easily. At what kind of interest rates and what kind of equity position?
Well, I try and overestimate on the interest rates. So right now I'm doing like a 6% interest rate.
And is everything on a fixed or variable? Are we variable?
Variable, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I was at a party last night and people were freaking out about their variables, man. And some of the stuff people were saying to like make themselves feel better. I don't even understand what they were talking about, to be quite honest with you. But like this guy is holding a nice variable rate mortgage and trigger rates coming up really soon, man.
Yeah.
I wonder. So the stuff that you've been buying over the last year, are you variable?
Yeah, so I go in variable on everything because I'm trying to do the BRRRR, right? So I'm trying to turn it over as quickly as possible. So, at the time it was a cheaper rate than a fixed rate, plus all the fees when you break that mortgage to go to refinance and everything. So yeah, I think, and historically too, variable rates have been lower than fixed rates on a yearly average. Who knows what's going on right now, right? It's pretty crazy right now, but even a variable, I mean, I'm pretty confident in it. The numbers are here, man. The value's here. The rent is here.
Are we counting on appreciation as part of our model?
I think appreciation is always there. I'm a strict, at the moment, buy and hold guy. So appreciation is just kind of like the icing on top of the cake, in my opinion, because I'm going to hold these things for 10, 15 years, right? And by that time, I mean, 2/3 of the mortgage is going to be paid down and all these other things, right? So I'm a mainly cash flow investor. And there's a lot of houses out here that are in rough shape. So that's perfect for me because I love doing renovations as well, right? So
you can put money in, rent them out, refinance them.
Yep.
And still cash flow?
Yes, sir.
Without counting on appreciation.
Yes, sir.
So the appreciation is not what you're saying, Darryl. The appreciation is not the land appreciation from the market. It's because he's done the renovations, right?
Correct.
These are residential mortgages. So they're not looking at the income of the property as much. That's just how they qualify it for the buyer. But as far as the value, they'll use comparables. They'll use comparables
year over year. Like it has to be some appreciation in this model for it to work.
Exactly. But even if, let's say you buy a real shithole and it's, 200 grand and then you put in $50,000 worth of renovations, but now it's a livable home and those homes are selling for 300, the appraiser comes in at 300. Right. So that's the appreciation, but it's through the forced appreciation of the renovations, not because he's saying the market's going to go up and I'm not going to do anything with it, which if that happens, great. But in this market, this is why investors are on pause right now, is because their model was, I'm going to go in, I'm going to buy something, I'm going to let the market do its thing, I'm going to look like a genius, and then I'm going to take out my money and tell everyone how much I know.
What do you think about that? Investors that go down that have that as their model. What do you guys think about that? Just
I think they're all getting killed right now, and they're all
Yeah.
going to be. They're not going to be real estate investors for very much longer.
It's
Exactly.
good when it's good. It's
Yeah.
good when it's good. Listen, but all those guys, if they were listening to the right people when they started warning, they would not have got killed like they got killed.
Yeah.
So like
They
we're
ignored
talking,
everything.
I think Daniel Foch said it on Twitter today or yesterday. It's like they're not investors. When you buy something like that, like as a one-off, even if it's an investment for you, you are not a friggin' investor.
Exactly.
Just a guy who bought a house and is renting it out.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
So, but now, isn't the BRRRR method in the current environment almost impossible to pull off more? Like,
oh man.
No? Okay, so talk me through this.
Okay, so for instance, so I've done 3 full BRRRRs, pulled out all my capital, my investors' capital from each one. So rough example, you buy it. Do you want me to talk about my specific property or
Let's go.
Man,
Let's get into it.
Let's get into
Dive
the
in.
weeds,
Woo!
baby.
So-
Don't go to Cornwall, everyone.
talk,
Zach's already bought all the properties over there. All right, find your own place to invest.
Exactly. Right?
Okay, you can invest with him.
Hey, I'm always open, boys. I'm always
We're
open.
taking on.
I have a bunch of properties under contract right now, so I'm.
This is the
definitely-
Canadian Real Estate Show Fund, Cornwall edition. We're accepting minimum investments of $5K.
like 50. Let's try 50.
That's what I said.
Unless you want to
50K.
Okay, well, let's get into it. I mean,
Let's
so the first property I bought was on Guy Street. It's a duplex. We bought it last year. We bought it in May of 2021. It's an up and down duplex, and there was a tenant already. I think I talked about this, but I'll give you all the full numbers.
Recap.
Recap, baby.
There was a fire upstairs previously, so the place was gutted when we got it. There was still a bit of fire damage. It wasn't a major fire, but I think the seller had come in and done some of the demolition already because the city required it, or however. So we bought that one for $135 in May of 2021. We put down $25,000, and we got this seller. You're going to be chuckling a lot through all this. We got this seller to finance the remaining 110 grand for 1 year at 3.5%. So we were paying him $350 a month to hold this property.
But you could have got like 1% then, no? I'm not saying it's stupid. I'm just asking, what were rates back then?
Also 2%, but
Yeah, probably
1.5 or something?
seller was happy to
Variable?
hold the mortgage.
Yeah, it's crazy.
right, but we didn't need
Deal.
to qualify for a mortgage, right?
Exactly.
So that
Yeah, it's like crazy.
yeah.
$350 a month.
So we went in there, we renovated upstairs. We switched it from a 1-bedroom. I think they had it as a 1-bedroom through MPAC or the city. We switched it to a 2-bedroom. Renovated everything. Got a tenant in there for like $1,400 at the time. $1,400, which was like, we hit all of our numbers and some. So, we thought it'd be worth this. We went over that. We thought we could get rent for this. We went over that, right? We thought our renovation budget would be this. We went over that. So that's
there's a shocker. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but hold on, let's go through these numbers. We're talking numbers.
Yeah.
So how much
Okay.
did we put into the reno?
65 grand.
Okay, so
We got-
135 plus 65, so we're at 200. Did I do that right, TK?
You got it. We were all in for 200. All of our costs, 200,000 total.
Including the 350 a month for the VTB?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
65, I say 65 reno, but that was our lump sum cost after buying the place, right?
so your
Closing
partner
costs,
put in
everything.
all the equity to start off. You had a partner bring in the deposit?
Yep.
And then it's 50-50, the two of you.
50-50. Yep.
All right, cool. Go.
So we did the renos, we got a renter in there, and then we refinanced it. We started the process in March, and May 1st, or a little before May 1st, we got our appraisal back, and it was worth 310,000.
Look at
And
that.
That was also with the siding wasn't complete on the exterior because we redid the siding. So they came and appraised it without the siding done. So I'm sure we probably would have got another 10 to 15. We were banking on 300. We were banking on 275 originally, but we got 310.
When is this? When is this refinance? What month in 2021?
May 2022 is when our first
Year later
mortgage payment was.
Yeah.
So over a year.
Just recently.
Yep. Yep.
And where did you borrow money from? A lender or a B lender or another?
B lender.
B lender.
Yeah.
At what kind of rate?
He's got 4.23%, I think.
In May, you got 4.2% on this? Oh, variable. Okay. Okay. Wow. So we're cash flowing how much a month?
Why not go fixed when you refinance?
Yeah, good question, TK.
You know why? Because I think our plan is, now that the siding's done, I think our plan is to refinance again in 6 months.
Okay.
Because we're going to get more value out of it, right? Okay. So hopefully.
Just asking.
Yeah.
And there's not a right answer there, just because, like, you know, at the time,
there's all kinds of things
what you wanted to do. Yeah.
Yeah. You could chop this up a million ways. You could have paid 200 grand cash for the whole thing.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
What's the interest? So what's an interest payment now per month?
Good question. Off the top of my head, I don't even know because my partner's dealing with all the finances.
What are you cash flowing? Just tell us what.
Yeah, what's like if total expenses and total revenue and cash flow?
So we're cash flowing $600 net.
$600, and you're getting $1,400 a month.
So now we're getting 1,500 because we had that tenant actually moved out. We have a new tenant in there, so we're getting 1,500 plus electrical upstairs, and we're getting $1,000 plus utilities downstairs.
So what's super important to me is that the refi happened in May, right? Like you were able to, you didn't have like a whole bloody problem financing this thing in May, right?
We started the process in middle of March.
So did it get hairy along the way at any point? Like were they flipping and flopping?
Not really.
This is crazy.
No, he's got a nicely renovated place that's still reasonably, you know, reasonably priced in that area, 310.
Yeah, we gave them a package, an appraisal.
No, but the appraiser wasn't like probably out to lunch bananas is the point, right? Like it was not in the peak where it was appraised at some stupid number and he got good financing. It was like after things were going to hell.
For sure. Yeah.
Appraisers are like covering their asses now and lenders are like doing actual due diligence now, right? This is actually pretty impressive. This is crazy. Okay.
Yeah. And I think with appraisers, with the market out here, people don't know what's going on, right? So appraisers are very, I guess with everywhere too, right? But appraisers are very, you know, I was there for the appraisal. I buttered him up a little bit, you know.
You brought him a double, and he's just like, hey, Zach, how are you?
I talked to him for an hour after we were done. I talked to him about his properties, blah, 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 right? So if you build a good relationship with these guys, you know, they'll,
Smart.
Yeah.
They're not going to screw you. They're not going to go out and stick their neck out, but they just won't be like, you know what, screw these guys. I don't like the color of flooring they've got, and come in low. And that's
before they write the report, they'll give you a call and they'll say like, what do you think about 310?
Yeah, exactly.
I can't talk numbers with you. I can't talk numbers with you, but
did you look at the house around the corner that was 375? And did you see the one that was over there that was 360? And oh, right. Okay. Let me call you back.
Yeah. So we gave.
How do you feel about 355?
Well, I don't want to mention a price, right? But you know, my office is located at 310 King Street East. Do you know where that is?
Is that in the proximity?
So I want to hear the deal. So that was the first one. We heard that one, and this is the happy ending. So the refinance. Okay.
Yep.
The second.
How much do we pull out? How much do we pull out of the refi to buy the next one?
So we got 310. We left in 25%. So you know we got 54 grand, I think it was. Yeah.
Awesome.
And then
that was enough to buy something else. Look at this.
Exactly. And our equities in there and everything, right? So it was, and that was my first one, right? So when this was all going down, it was just like I was nervous, but when it all went through, I was like, wow, this is amazing, right? So. So yeah, that's the first one.
And they all went just as smoothly with no issues.
No issues.
I hate to say that because the renovation there was
but that was a good one. Yeah, you bought right.
Yeah.
You bought right.
135, you think?
Yeah. And you still can't, and we can't say you refinance, to Darryl's point. We can't say, oh, you refinanced in February. That's why you did well.
Yeah.
No, you refinanced, it closed in May. The appraisal happened probably in March or April. And you know, prices had already starting to fall a little bit. So
Yeah, for sure.
Good.
For sure.
Good.
Amazing.
All right. Next one.
Amazing.
Yeah. Next one is another duplex. So I found this house on Kijiji in probably July of 2021, maybe June.
Duplex, July, Kijiji. Okay.
Yeah, I immediately called these people and I started to develop a relationship with them. So I went by to see the property. They told me, so it's an up and down again, both 2-bedroom units. The downstairs unit was going to be vacant on closing. So, you know, when you get a vacant unit, you know, you got to kind of maybe overpay a little bit, I would say. But that's okay because, you know, my strategy is to go in there, renovate it, you know, raise the rents a little bit and refinance, right? So yeah, I'd been talking to these people for a couple months. Finally, I put in an offer, which they accepted at 235. And we closed on that one November 19th of 2021. Immediately went in there. I had a couple guys out here. They went in there.
From July to November?
That's how long I was working the deal. Yeah.
And you had control of it the whole time?
I did. There was a few hairy moments in there when they were like, "Hey, are you serious about this?" I'm like, "Yep, I'm serious. I'm going to take this down." I had some things to get in order, right? And that's just kind of how.
Like, were you conditional, like with an offer or anything, or you guys were just talking for 5-6 months about the deal?
Well, no, so when I met them in June, you know, I probably gave them the offer in August. And then, you know, you go back and forth. They wanted to, they're a bit older. They're an older couple. So they wanted to do everything by paper, right? So I was like going to my lawyer, getting them drafted up, going to Staples, getting it printed, bringing it to them, getting them to sign it, bringing it back, taking it to their lawyer. So there was a few shifty moments in there. I'm not going to lie, but
It's hard work. That's it.
Yeah. Finally, we closed.
Yep.
We closed on November 19th. Went in there, renovated the place immediately. Had it done by mid-January, I guess, over Christmas and stuff. There was a bit of, you know, it's Christmas, right? So got a renter in there for March for $1,550 plus utilities, 2-bedroom. And then did the same thing, refinanced. So we just did that refi and we did it. We just got it closed like probably a month and a half ago on it, actually. But again, same thing with the appraiser. Appraiser came through. I gave him a package, showed him what we did, buttered him up.
Refinanced the second one a month and a half ago?
Yep. Yeah, we just closed a month and a half ago on it. Yep.
And then how much did we pull out of this one at the refinance stage?
That was a big one. And I didn't know with how the market was, if we'd be able to pull. My target was 350 on the reappraisal. So same thing, appraiser package, got him there, talked to him, buttered him up, talked to him for a bit afterwards as well. And, you know, during those conversations, he's like, "Do you have an idea of what you're expecting?" Same as the other guy, right? And I was like, "Yeah, I'm thinking like 350. And in these appraisal packages, we give them comparables too, which are, you know, we inflate the comparables a bit, right? But,
delete that. Edit, guys. Let's take out that part. Okay.
We pick the best comparables to serve.
Yes, them. Even if they're in like Toronto. You should see some of the shit I've seen on appraisals, man. Oh my God. Yeah. Okay, so we pulled out what, $100,000?
So that one we got reappraised at 345. So we $90,000 we pulled out.
$90,000.
And what's the cash flow?
We bought it at 235. We put our 20% down. We had a mortgage for 187 grand. Got it reappraised for 345, 20% LTV. So yeah, we had $90,000. And that one.
What's great about these deals is that, like, if the market goes the way that D Trent says it's gonna go, right, and that all these doomsdayers think it's gonna go, who gives a shit out there? Like, it doesn't make a difference, right? Does it?
I don't think so. I'm a firm
when you're cash flowing, if your strategy is cash flow, then
and the price is so low,
who gives a shit what the equity is at that moment, unless you're selling.
Yeah, but you should see. I mean, it's Toronto is driving down the Canadian averages, right? Like Canadian is absolutely, or Toronto is absolutely destroying the Canadian numbers. If you look at the other top cities and their declines right now, like they don't really matter much. Like there's not much in effect. So even if like Cornwall, it doesn't matter. $300,000 house if it goes down 40%, does it?
So
Like, even if you have to refinance in 2 years or something.
Yeah,
There's nothing to refinance if it goes down 40%.
Yeah, it's under the
money.
like the Canadian average, like the median price. And so I don't think it's as affected as greatly as other markets.
100% agree.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So-
We talked about this with a guy from Saskatchewan. It's like the
Right.
rates don't impact people as much when it's only a few $100s one way or the other.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
buyers are still going, okay,
Whatever.
I'm getting a deal, but they're not going to be like, oh my gosh, like in Toronto, I have to pay 30% more mortgage payment every month, and my mortgage payment was already $2,500.
Yeah.
They're not going to butter that. Sorry, I missed the cash flow on this last one because you pulled out 90,
$700 net.
and this is 700 net split between the two of you.
Yes.
Okay, so it's just that's what it is. Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
And you choose, so just the strategy here, you choose to leverage the property as much as possible. Because you're saying that one there, you took out 80% loan to value, which was the max. The last one was 75%. It was a B lender, so that was the max. So you've
Exactly.
decided to leverage these properties as much as you can, as long as there is some cash flow.
Yeah, after
Okay.
having, your reserves in the bank account.
And the reserve, that's my next question. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
you're
reserve.
factoring in future repairs and maintenance, management, and vacancy.
Yeah, everything.
Okay.
Are you taking money out, or you guys are just spinning the rent back into the deal?
We're just kind of leaving it in there right now.
He's
We
paying
haven't-
for that comfort in suites with that
That's right, that's
$350, Daryl.
I needed good Wi-Fi.
Somebody-
So I had to stay here, right? So
Yeah, somebody needs to pay those bills,
They're-
and that's
they're
what
like-
that's what you're doing right now. Is you're replacing your income
Exactly.
with real estate investment income.
exactly.
That's what
exactly.
you're doing,
That's-
one property at a time. And your strategy, which we're going to get into, because at the end, I really want to make sure, because there's a ton of people listening to our show now compared to a year ago, and I want to find you some investors. So,
Nice.
how many more deals we got to talk about? A couple more, right?
Yeah, I got one more that I've done the BRRRR on. We can talk about
Okay,
that one.
let's hear the whole thing on that one. Yeah.
Okay, so deal number 3 is a actually this one should have probably came second, but it's a triplex down here in Cornwall.
I'm noticing a progression here, TK. Do you? 1, 2,
Fire
3.
property.
We got the
duplex,
triplex
now we're on a triplex.
before the duplex actually, so I don't know why. Maybe I just led with the bigger BRRRR on the second one, but they were very close together. So we closed on that one September 29th of 2021, and it was guys, it was a shithole, like big time shithole. This house is 100 years old. There was
It's a shithole in the armpit of Canada.
Oh yeah,
Like, what could be better?
big time. But this one's the gem.
Opportunity.
That is a description for realtor.ca.
I wonder if any realtor has ever put the
Investors,
armpit-
developers,
Right?
Like the gem of the armpit of the shithole of Canada.
If anyone from Cornwall watches this, no one's going to be willing to work with me anymore because they think I'm slagging their city.
No,
right?
you're pumping them up right now. That was the
You
old
better
man. That
sell
was
now
before
before
know what it
Zach
needed?
kills the market.
Cornwall needed a little bit of a facelift.
Yeah.
That was it. They just needed
what's
some
going on
new
right now.
capital to come in there and be
Yeah.
motivated to invest, because this is not a new issue. This is like a long-standing slumlord issue in Cornwall because
100%.
people weren't putting money into their properties. And now guys like Zach, there's more than one guy right now in Cornwall doing this,
Yeah.
and they're all, bringing up property values. Cornwall people should be kissing the floor that the investors are walking on, because that's really what's happening is
But
you're increasing
investors
the
are
values of the
evil.
regular people in that area big time.
But they're taking away the opportunities from the first-time home buyers. TK.
These people
are evil,
because
don't you
now
know?
there's investment into new construction.
Yeah.
Now they're going, oh, we've got enough population growth here to
Ooh.
justify, and the developers are all saying, let's start building again. They weren't building for a long
This
time.
was
in
my next
Cornwall.
question. Yeah,
Yeah.
are there like signs up for pre-construction homes, or
Yeah, man.
there's
They're
somebody
building a
building
lot
a 30-story building in Cornwall now?
They have a like an 8-story building going up. I think they have some strict rules on like high-rise buildings, anything over 8 or 10. There's a lot of new houses being built out here, guys. A lot.
Yeah. See,
Like tons.
good
'Cause
news
there's
for young
tons of
people.
land,
Young
right?
people can
Tons.
afford to buy a new house when the land cost for the developers $25,000.
I was
right?
at
They can
I-
slap up a $450,000 townhouse or semi or something like that that people would love to live in.
For sure.
A couple minutes outside town.
I was at a party last night and I was talking to one of my friend's sons, and he was like, I'm willing to move far away to afford a nicer house. I was like, no, you're not. He goes, what do you mean? Of course I am. I said, like, your mom's going to make you come in at least every Friday night for dinner. How far are you going to drive? 2 hours back? You're going to sleep at your mom's house every Friday night? Like, let's think this through a little bit. And he was like, oh, well, yeah, you're right. Like, she is going to make you do that. Are people really willing to move so far away? Like, is this really
100%.
a thing now?
Yes.
Yeah,
100%.
it's becoming a thing.
Yeah.
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 Wow.
Yeah.
I
All
read
right,
an
so-
article. I'll put it up right here, but they're saying people are moving around like crazy. So this is a huge opportunity.
Yeah, 100%.
Lots of people are realizing the cost of living is too crazy. Inflation's obviously high. Prices are high, whether they come down or not. Cost of borrowing. You're in your 20s and you got a job that's got some flexibility. You're working at Amazon and Ajax. Why not go work for Walmart in Cornwall?
Yeah.
For the same
Right.
pay.
And I think people are really getting around the idea of renting instead of owning now too. Like, it's starting to be more acceptable, or it's like a default position for a lot of people, at least at the onset. I don't think it's as going to be or is viewed as negatively as it used to be. Out of necessity more than anything.
Well, especially in the big cities, but they'll want to buy in the smaller ones. All right. So this deal, can you carry on to with this triplex?
Carry on. Triplex. It was in rough shape. There were some squatters there. We had to deal with that. We had to clean up.
How did you deal with that?
How'd you deal
Don't
with the
leave out the
squatters?
best part,
You can't
Zach.
skip over
Come
squatters.
on.
Honestly,
Yada, yada, yada.
I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I dealt with them like any other normal person would. I told them I would help them. They weren't on the lease, so I said, listen, I'm gonna give you till this day to get your stuff out of here, and you guys have to leave. And if you don't, then I'm gonna have to call the police or whatever I said.
I'm gonna have to drop a match in your unit.
I was
wonder
actually
if that's how the
they were gonna do
first
that.
house happened.
Squatters were people who were not on the lease. So these
Exactly.
were people who had just moved in because their friend had the place at one point, and then he passed it to another friend, who passed it to another friend, and next thing you know, you got all these guys living there you don't know.
Exactly.
Guy from the Loblaws
Who are
down the
not
street.
familiar with the Residential Tenancies Act because they're squatters.
Because we don't give a shit.
Yeah. So they
Fuck you.
said,
Kick me out.
said, okay, this guy seems serious and he's telling us to leave. He's going to call the police, but he's at least giving us a date.
Yeah.
And they all left.
You know what? Yeah. Well,
Great.
With a little bit of there was a few speed bumps,
Coercion.
but yeah. One of the guys that was living there wasn't on the lease. His father lives in New Brunswick.
Yeah.
So I gave him $500. I bought him a train ticket back.
Incentive. Awesome. Good for you.
He was great.
Smart.
So honestly, what I'm noticing about people that are faced with the choice of moving out, it's not as bad as people perceive it to be. Yes, some people never want to leave and they'll be dicks about it, but sometimes people need a new lease on life and a refreshing, a new scenario that kind of like maybe boosts them up a little bit. I'm noticing that more than the other way around. Now, I'm still very early in this and dealing with
I
people.
have a new motto for your company. Okay.
Talk to me.
Providing people of the armpit of Ontario a new lease on life. This is perfect.
This is great. Can we slip in the word butthole somewhere?
No, you know what? You handled that well. And honestly, and what you explained it is perfect, is people get afraid of making those types of interactions and not finding solutions. And if you lead with your heart and you open up your wallet, most of the times problems get solved pretty quickly.
Is that the order that works? Heart, then wallet, or is it wallet, then heart?
I think
can you do it simultaneously? Yes,
100%. All I say is, look, I need you guys to leave. I'll help you out however I can. If that sounds like something, there's an easy way and there's a hard way to do it. I want to do
the hard way look like.
Well, you got to go through the LTB and it's more of just a threat than anything, right? But it's true.
Delete that, editor, delete that part. Okay. He's serious and he means business. If you are a tenant at a property that Zach buys,
out, bro.
He needs you out tomorrow.
Out.
You can get paid to leave, or you can stay for 8 months and have nothing.
Yeah.
It's your choice, right?
Yeah.
Some
No,
people want
I
to
know.
stay and they want to cause havoc. Some people want to just take the money and start new beginnings, right? So
Look,
You're
for
dealing- you're-
some people, like a month or two of rent is a gigantic incentive. A month of rent and a moving truck,
Yeah.
and maybe a flat screen TV.
Mm.
100%.
Who isn't
Yeah.
moving for that?
I just
Okay, but numbers on the triplex. Numbers on the triplex.
Okay, got those people out, renovated that place. We bought that place for 250.
Mhm.
Renovated that place. It's a 1-bedroom. Currently getting $1,200, which has been rented since May. 1,200 plus utilities.
Yep.
The woman upstairs is still living there. And then the 2-bedroom beside it, which is the 3rd unit of the triplex, just finished renovations. Just signed a lease with a couple nice gentlemen from London, Ontario.
Mhm.
We're gonna get 1,700 plus utilities on that 2-bedroom.
So we got 17, 12, and what's the lady that's already there paying?
650 right now.
29, 35, 50 is the total. Did I do that right, TK?
Yeah, we're trying to get a $4,000 gross
Good.
per month is what we're aiming for after obviously going through the process. So if we get a $4,000 a month gross, we'll be literally cash flowing $1,500.
Okay.
Yeah.
The refinance on that one.
Refi. So we did the refi in April on that one, and that 2-bedroom unit wasn't fully renovated yet. So we got 350 on the refi without that 2-bedroom being renovated, which is really good.
Okay. So you didn't
So
pull any
now-
money out of this one?
Yeah. So same thing. We got a line of credit for $80,000.
And what was your renovation budget though?
About 45.
So about $35,000.
Yeah.
Extra money on top from the line of credit
Yeah, exactly.
to be able to throw into another deal somewhere. And then
Exactly.
once you get everything complete, you'll go for a refinance.
Yes, we're going to do another refi once the upstairs unit is renovated as well, so we can show
Yeah.
the bank that you have sufficient great rents actually, just so it's valued more, right? So yeah.
Okay.
Planning on refining that one. So again, we just did a fixed rate on that one, with the plan being to refi again once everything's complete in 6 months or 7 months as well.
And so your target would be to get it refinanced closer to 400,000.
Fixed
Yeah.
rate or variable?
Well, we did sorry, variable. Did I say fixed? My
Yeah,
apologies.
I heard
we did
fixed.
fixed. We did
Okay,
variable.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
With
so
a line of credit.
5
With
maybe.
a line of credit.
Sorry?
It's got a huge lot, probably about a quarter acre lot.
Development potential?
I want to put a tiny home on the back.
Tiny home.
I really do. Yeah.
So hang on a second here.
Yeah.
When we combine these 3 deals together,
Yes, sir.
what is the total cash flow?
15, 7, 22, and 6. So $2,800 split
Okay.
between my partners and I. But
So for everybody that is still listening at this point, okay, it took a year for Zach to get himself, with no money of his own, $1,400, right, a month forever now.
Here's even better though, because Zach, that's fantastic.
It's
Obviously
fantastic.
it's
But
great.
he also got for someone
But
else.
the investor has had to
Yes.
do nothing because they got all their money back and they are still making that
In a
same amount of money
year.
that
In a
Zach has.
year.
And they were sitting in their office in Toronto with their thumbs going, wow, this is nice. Yeah.
Can't make sense
And-
out of these
and
numbers
Zach-
around here.
And Zach was doing the work. So I want to spend the last 10 minutes because Zach, you've got some other deals. Some of our listeners might be looking for investments. They might be looking for a partner. They might be looking for somebody who could, steer them, and you may be that guy. So
yeah, for
what
sure.
you got some stuff on the table right now. So
There's a lot
give
of
us a
cash
little
on
bit
the
of a
sidelines.
elevator pitch here on what you would say to an investor who's listening to the show right now and how you might be able to partner up with them on some of the things that you already have got in the works or
Wow.
future deals.
Put me on the spot there.
okay.
What would I say?
You don't have to get into numbers, but just, the goals,
Yeah.
just stick to the goals.
So like I'm building this business. I want people that are like-minded as me. They're ambitious. They want to get their money working for them, because that's how you build wealth, is by getting your money to work for you, right? So I'm looking for private investors, private funding, and I'm also looking for joint venture partners on these properties, 50-50. I'm the active partner. I'm looking for money partners who will supply, the down payment, closing costs, renovations. What I'm targeting right now is
Guarantees.
guarantees. Yeah.
These are all so far going into the partners' names. so far? We talked about this last show.
Yeah. So
But
far,
you're working
yes.
towards having corps that'll be owned.
Yes,
Shortly.
definitely working towards that because
Hold on. These are owned in the individual partner's name?
yes.
Yeah. With partnership agreements, that's
Yeah,
normal.
But
joint
doesn't
venture.
it cost a fortune to transfer that into a corp later? Don't you have to
So
like pay a
I
land
think
transfer tax?
the
On a
land transfer
$300,000
tax
property?
is like
Yeah, but
literally
still, what's the point? Why not just
$3,000.
incorporate a company?
Well, when I got
Qualifying.
started, my
Yeah.
plan was to
Oh.
build a foundation with a few of these properties, start generating some passive income. And as you grow the business, then you incorporate and you start finding general partners in different corporations, things like that, right? So I think at
That's
first
the goal, is to get to a business model where you've got corporations owning the properties.
yes,
So the
and
partner
you would be a
owns the
shareholder
home?
in those corporations, just like your money partners are. And that's
Exactly.
how everything is going to be broken down.
exactly. Yes, the partners own the home, yes, and we have joint venture agreements signed, me being 50-50 owner of the property, right?
Oh,
Yep.
I'll take 8 of those, please.
Yeah, it's good. No,
Yes,
You better get that sorted out though soon, I would say. Like it should be
we're in the
corpse
process
quickly.
of it. We're in the process
Yeah,
of it.
good.
So as an investor, so I'm sitting at home right now, I'm watching the greatest real estate show on earth. I'm
On
hearing
Earth.
about Zach and his investment strategy. What would that look like? So you would bring me a deal.
Yep.
You'd say, here you go. Here's a property that I have under contract already. Or
I have a few. Yeah.
okay, so I have a property under contract already. Here is my purchase price. Here's my renovation budget. Here is my target rents. Here's my target completion date. Here's how we're going to finance this. There might be VTB or, whatever it is that you've thought about already. And then this is our date that we will be refinancing, our target refinance date. And here's the projected cash flow afterwards and what the strategy would be over the next 5-10 years, whatever it is.
Exactly. That's exactly it. So I literally I have a pitch deck that I haven't sent out yet. But it's pretty much complete and I'm just going to start sending that to people. And all those details that you just mentioned are in this pitch deck. So
and the
if you are
returns
interested, you can get the contact info below.
The returns are infinite. This is what you are working on, is that this strategy is not give me your money and I'll pay you back some of it. It's give me your money, I'll pay you back all of it. And then you're going to have a return afterwards.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. It sounds like it's
so far. I mean, with the numbers that I project, I'm trying to gun for all full BRRRRs, but they might not happen, right? You don't know with the market and everything. It just
sometimes you got to leave a little money in the deal.
Sometimes you got to, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm targeting, multifamily properties under 175 grand, which I have 3 or 4 under contract right now.
Is that just simply because of the investors and the people that you have backing you? Is that is that a threshold on price? Like what's, I don't get it. So why have a threshold at 175?
Because I know the values of property. So when you go to refinance, that's the closest anything under that.
So duplexes and triplexes.
Yes.
175 or less. But if you had a 7-unit building.
Oh yeah.
Why are we doing a 10-unit building?
You could scale that up a little bit more.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's go for 10. Let's go for 10. TK, you and me, let's go,
10,
bud.
20. I got, it's just, I think with the 175, I know I can get close to a full BRRRR out of the refinanced price, right? So, and I'm finding them. I closed on a property August 2nd, a duplex for 160. So
how long does it take to get to Cornwall from here?
I live in Scarborough near Mr. TK, so about 3.5 hours.
3.5 hours.
Yeah. But the more I'm here,
there's no holes in this. Where are the holes, TK? Find a hole. TK, you know that there's a hole somewhere.
Honestly, the strategy is sound, right? It's just the mindset has to be, it's a long-term hold. And so you have to be willing to know that the market could fluctuate and that, that equity might not come to you as fast as you want it to come, but the cash flow will be there and that your position will be secured, right, with the property. And you're an owner of the property as the investor. And obviously, Zach's got his partnership agreement. And like anything else, if you hold on to it with real estate, eventually it'll come out okay. But the main thing is there is no perfect investment. So everyone has to know what the risks are. But this strategy is a much better investment, like 10 times than going and buying a pre-construction condo, buying some property in the GTA where your negative cash flow $1,000 a month, going and trying to buy a property in an area that you don't know anything about and trying to do what Zach is doing, because you need to learn all these things. And then how are you possibly going to go and facilitate all the work, right? Like Zach's taking care of all that management, the renovations, helping you with the financing, finding the properties, getting the deals, negotiating them, knowing the appraisals, sweet talking them with doubles and peanut butter cookies. All those things is what the
manipulating the appraisals.
This is why the results will be better with his strategy compared to someone else just going out there and doing it on their own and saying, you know what, the market's going to go up and I can't lose. Those guys are the ones that get burned in this market.
Well, and it's also, I think, a very important part of the strategy, which I don't know if you're implementing or not, but you don't have to buy something until it actually hits, right? Until it hits all the metrics. You just buy something because, you know, somebody's got money that they want to invest with you and you force something. This is when this method starts to break down. Yeah. When people start getting a little sloppy.
Yeah, exactly.
I know that 175 purchase price on a duplex will hit a BRRRR. So for me, you know, I'll run the numbers, but I know that that's the number, right? So,
and it's a BRRRR that's enough to like, it's like a amount enough to just buy another house. It's like, it's crazy.
Zach being the partner who's doing the work, right? The legwork here. This is where, and I tell this with people when they are going to do tenant selection on their properties. I say, use your property manager, because they're going to be the ones placing the tenants who they're going to be dealing with on a day-to-day basis. So they're going to be thinking about themselves when they're choosing those tenants. So when you're going to invest and you're buying a property with somebody who's going to be doing the work and benefiting from the cash flow, you damn well know that they're going to be making sure it's a good deal. It's not just spending your money and moving on, like maybe a real estate agent or, you know, someone who's just commission based and gets to move on. You're actually going to be partnering with somebody where they're going to be taking care of that like it's their own money, because they know if they don't make money, if you don't make money, that they don't make money. And that's where the protection is that I've seen in these type of businesses. So
yeah, for sure.
It's awesome.
Amazing.
Very good
progress. That was a good year.
Yep.
It was. I closed on
successful.
I closed
Success.
I closed on a duplex on August 2nd for 163.
Nice.
And I'm closing on a single family on August 31st on a 1/4 acre lot, which was just an incredible deal that we couldn't pass up. So onward and upward, boys. Onward and upward.
And you said you got a couple more under contract, or those are the ones that
those are the ones he's closing?
No, I have a triplex under contract and in negotiations with a woman that owns 2 duplexes. I'm going to try and snag both of those duplexes for 350. So hit that 175 mark again. So I have to send her a proper agreement, but it was a handshake deal. So I'm pretty sure her husband, unfortunately, her ex-husband passed away about 6 months ago, and it's just been way too much for her for a few months. So, and I knew her husband a little bit. I actually had a deal with him in place, but he unfortunately passed away during his vacation. So she had called me. So she just wants to offload these properties, right? So
relationships, that's the value. The value in buying right is the relationships. We've had guys on the show with $100 million plus portfolios, and everybody talks about the same thing. Relationships. How do you buy right? It's about making relationships with agents, with sellers, with owners, with landlords, with property managers, with appraisers, with mortgage brokers.
I talk to everybody out here. Everybody. I see people at Walmart. I see people, you know, I talk to everybody, right?
Oh, for sure. You should be hanging out at that Walmart distribution center.
Absolutely.
Right, with a for rent sign, like a sandwich board.
You guys need a place. You guys need a place to stay. Hey, how much are you making here? All right, you can get the 3-bedroom.
That's right. That's right.
Awesome.
Amazing. Thank you for your time again, sir.
No problem.
Happy for you. Congratulations. Well done.
And contact info we're going to put in the
description below.
It'll be what?
It's Jake Ella Investments on Instagram.
Okay.
But yeah, anyone wants to talk, wants to chat, partner up, feel free to reach out to me, and let's start building together.
Awesome.
Well, in a crazy market,
there's deals to be had.
And there are
great time
deals to be had. It's a great time to buy.